Weird Realities explores the paranormal, preternatural, and supernatural worlds that surround us. Here we delve into those topics that challenge us to think outside the limitations of realism, where we test the boundaries of imagination and are forced to think outside the confines and restrictions of what is normal. We are the creators, the writers, the artists, and the insane. Welcome to our Weird Realities.
Happy Thursday, everybody. It is time for Watching Weird. I'm Hadley Thorne, and I am here with my favorite three authors, Scott Baker, Alan Gamboa, and Mr. Rich Restucci himself. So, how y'all been doing since last week?
Good, but busy.
Busy.
Always busy. No time to write.
Hello, Miss Tina Brooks.
Hi,
Hello, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Hello, Tina. Hello, Tina.
Tina,
We have a consensus that you can't hit Alan anymore.
Well, you just have to hit him right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Get a tennis racket.
Hi, Whitney.
Hey,
Hello,
Whitney.
Hi, Whitney.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Scott's mom. Yeah, Whitney.
Hi, Scott's mom.
Hey,
behind
Scott's
I'm not seeing it flash by tonight.
Either.
Yeah.
Well, no, she doesn't know how to use the computer.
Oh,
My
She's
nephew-
just out there.
My
Oh, there's
nephew,
Tony. Hi,
Tony.
Tony.
my nephew
Hey, Tony.
calls up the show so she can watch it, and then when it's done, he comes back in and shuts the computer down.
oh, nice. Nice. Kids are good for that.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Well, we got an eclectic group of movies tonight.
Yeah.
I call it our weird mood movies.
Our weird. We have Reign of Fire, Corrective Measures, which is a new movie. While We Do It in the Shadows, and Rich, what movie did you pick?
Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk. Yes, I just wanted to hear you say that. Say it
He
again.
sounds so
Say it again.
excited.
Eddie Hawk. It's Hudson Hawk.
Calling Hudson Hawk. Anyone seen Hudson Hawk? No, it doesn't sound the same as Mike. Anyway, so these movies are ones that we are like comfort food to us, except for Corrective Measures, which was a new movie, and I thought I'd grab that one for us just to give it a look-see, and it was on Tubi, so everybody had access to it. So does anybody want to start tonight? Anybody?
I think you should start with Corrective Measures.
Holy crap. Okay, Corrective Measures.
Right under the bus.
Yes, thank you. I'm not gonna ask that anymore because you always do that to me. I'm gonna look at Scott when I say that or something.
Okay.
Point Scott. Corrective Measures is a Tubi original, and it stars.
Hey, Ash.
Hi, Ash.
Hey Ash, how you doing?
Ash.
And it stars Bruce Willis, Michael Rooker, and a bunch of familiar. There's a handful of familiar faces in it that you've seen around. And this one is set after this thing called the Pulse. The Pulse. That some supervillains, which aren't explained, unleash on the world, and it wipes out Australia. And there's nothing else explained, just Australia's gone. And it turns people into superheroes, supervillains, gives them powers. They're powered people. And of course, people don't like people that have something more than you. So they rise up, analyze people, they incarcerate. And this takes place in a supermax superhero prison. And you look at it, and I could escape from it. I could crawl my fat ass over the fence in this place. But Michael Rooker is the overseer, not the warden. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
And Bruce Willis plays the Lobe. He can control people with his mind. I guess he's a pretty heinous villain. And then you have this young Hispanic kid that's an empath. He's empathetic to, I guess he's really touchy-feely, and they make fun of him. But they put these suppressive things on their legs so they can't use their powers, and the guards can control them. Though one of the guards, the female guard, has super strength, so they don't really go into that.
Yeah, they never touched on that.
Yeah, so I guess guards are allowed to have superpowers. Anyway, there's some internal struggles in this prison among the inmates, the overseer, Michael Rooker at his best. I think he really chewed this role up. and he was eating popcorn,
Hey,
hey Morgana, or drinking a soft
Long
drink,
time no see.
or drinking a soft drink in every scene that he was in, just about. And it's I don't want to give away too much of it because there's a twist to it.
Yeah.
But it was a fun watch. It's a low budget movie. Definitely low budget. Bruce Willis's most watchable movie I've probably seen in the past 3 years, I think. It's probably the first one I've made it all the way through. I like this movie. Tina didn't like it so much. I liked it. It was fun. Stay and watch the end credits because there's a little scene in there that's kind of funny.
Oh, I didn't.
Worth watching. So let me get your guys' take on this.
I thought it was. I'm sorry, Heather. You go first.
I was gonna say that it kind of lost me in the middle, but I stuck it out, and I at the end it picked back up, and
Right.
I enjoyed it, and I did watch the end credit scene. I was wondering what the heck has happened to Bruce Willis's career, especially after watching Hudson Hawk. I kind of had an idea what happened, but it was interesting, and I really like the basics. I mean, I want to read the graphic novel.
Yeah, it's based on one. You're right. It is.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see. They kind of set it up for a sequel, and the sequel is like something I could totally buy into. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was different. It was fun. For Tubi, it was really good for a 2022 movie. So,
Tubi original.
Tubi, do they do originals now?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they must.
Titanic 666.
See
Oh,
the quality.
okay.
See the quality. Great quality.
Well, it was a good afternoon watch. It wasn't, it was not a renter. I would say that, but I enjoyed it. It was a good pick, Alan.
Oh, thank you. If you notice, the captain of the prison guards is played by Kevin Zager, and he was in the Dawn of the Dead remake and Fear the Walking Dead. He was like in a story arc in that. So he's got some zombie cred.
Who was he in Dawn of the Dead?
He was the kid that liked the redheaded girl. He was one of the security guards.
I did not catch that. I'll have to.
Yeah.
I didn't either, and that kind of pisses me off.
He's the one that got on the boat with Ving Rhames at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my superhero
okay.
power, and I didn't catch it.
I'll have to rewatch part of it and see.
He was familiar, but I never put that together.
Right. That's who that was. And what's his name? Tom Cavanaugh, who played Gordon Tweedy, the electrical guy.
I had to look him up because I recognized something, but I couldn't place him.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you place him at? Where'd you was
Scrubs.
it The Flash? Oh, Scrub, yeah.
I got him from The Flash. Yeah,
The Flash. He had a series back.
I knew him before The Flash, though, but that was what I go to.
He had a series I used to love called Ed back in the day.
Yeah, actually, I remember that. Yeah,
it was a fun little series. Yeah. So Scott, let's hear your.
I loved it. It was. I wouldn't watch it again, but it's a fun movie to watch. Michael Rooker made the movie. He was such a dick throughout that movie. He made it fun. Bruce Willis is good in it. But I mean, Michael Rooker steals the show.
He could have been played by anybody, right? That character, instead of Bruce Willis, it could have been anybody.
It could have been anybody. I think the movie would have fallen flat on its face if it wasn't for Rooker.
Yeah.
Because he was he was so good in that role, and how that character just played through the entire movie that I loved, especially the ending. I thought the ending was fantastic. Good movie, fun movie. You can watch it on you can watch it in the afternoon. You can watch it on a Friday night. It's worth it watching at least once.
All right. And Rich.
I guess I could be a little critical of it. I thought it was like Scott said, it was worth watching once. But as soon as it came on and the talking heads on the on the news station came on, I looked at it and I was like, what how did they film this? Because it just looked odd. It looked like it was filmed with some weird type of film. I don't know. And then as the movie progressed, it was really poorly acted until Michael Rooker came on the the news feed. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can watch this. And it perked up a little. And then when they got to the prison, it was pretty good. This whole movie takes place in the prison. And I thought it was okay. I actually liked Bruce Willis's performance, but I have to wonder if this is his last movie.
No,
Does he
he's got like
more?
6. He's got like
does he?
6 that are waiting to just be shot out.
He must have pushed him out because he was diagnosed with aphasia. He's never going to make another movie.
Oh,
So,
that's right.
yeah.
So this one only took him 2 days to film. He only filmed for 2 days.
Does not surprise me. He had about 15, 20 minutes tops in this movie. And he was supposed to be this like super psychopath, but you just couldn't tell it from his casual demeanor. But I guess that could be the psychopath in him. But overall, I thought it was okay. I thought it was worth seeing one time.
Yeah, I agree. And his character didn't help out Diego too much. No, you thought he was going to help Diego.
That actually bugged me a
guy.
little. Yeah, that he just kind of let him go at the end.
Yeah.
Diego was Bruce Willis's Diego was a new fish in the prison, and he was Bruce Willis's friend, I guess you can call it, even though Bruce Willis never got out of solitary for longer than a few minutes.
Right.
It was interesting.
And the big guy's character, his
Darius.
Yeah, that was a great character. That was
he was a good character. Yeah, there was some weird stuff going on. That one like bat-like thing that was eating the guy's leg. That was weird.
Yeah, like the mutants, like at the beginning when that whole with the Punisher guy, he shows up at the beginning and there's like I thought he was a monkey man, but I guess he's a werewolf type of thing that he shot and killed.
I thought I had the wrong movie.
No,
I did. No.
I did too.
They're at the very first scene is these like this group of gangsters have this one other gangster on the ground, and one of them is this like werewolf looking guy, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? I had no idea that was part of the movie. So I was like, all right, whatever this is, 5 minutes, and 5 minutes in, it came up with the credits, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch the movie.
Well, I went up to the top, and it's like, did I pick the wrong movie? And it's a Corrective Measures, so that's when it was like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
Well, the guy that played Payback was good too. He was a Punisher ripoff. I mean, from the comic, he was a comic book Punisher. He had the big the Paladin type cross.
Yeah.
That character was just a straight Punisher or the Executioner ripoff. So what? Okay, so Hadley, what would you give this movie?
Probably a 2.5.
Okay, Scott,
3.5. It was fun, but I mean, it got that higher rating because of Michael Rooker.
He did chew the scenery in this one.
He was fantastic. I loved him in that.
And you notice he's got sayings that he uses in every movie. He says boy. He says boy in every movie.
Yeah, he does.
And I think that's just him right there. Rich?
I gotta give it a 2. It was not my favorite film. Like I said, it's worth seeing one time, but I never need to watch that movie again. And the only reason it gets a 2 is because I think Rooker and actually the what was the kid's name? Diego. Yeah. He actually played well too. And the Punisher guy did all right. Bruce Willis did okay. So yeah, I'll give it a 2 for that.
Well, I will. I'll give it a 3. I don't ever want to see it again. And like I said, to me, it's the most watchable Bruce Willis movie. And I've tried a few lately. Breach. Oh, that was horrible. And the other one he did with Frank Grillo, where they're in space.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
just bad.
Yeah, and he gets some of the same actors. Like he's done a couple movies, 2 or 3 movies with Frank Grillo and some other actors that you recognize that you're surprised they're in these movies. But I think Bruce Willis's name and the lure of some money, quick money, draws people into him. So
yeah, he's probably got a standard fee for those movies.
Yeah. 2 days work, you make maybe $1 million or 500,000 or something like that. Yeah, you can't beat that.
He did sound like he phoned that one in, but
he did. It wasn't horrible because I've seen him act horribly in some stuff.
Yeah.
So
Breach.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I think he has some producer buddies that he makes movies with too, because you'll see the same producers on a lot of these movies,
Yeah.
and even act. This guy Corey Large. Look for his name in the credits of any Bruce Willis movie, and he acts and he produces. So he must be a money buddy of his or something. But anyway, check out Corrective Measures just for shits and giggles. So Hadley's next.
No. You got to do Rich Restucci next because he had a Bruce Willis movie too.
Okay.
I suppose we could do that.
Well, we have to because you have to compare Bruce Willis then to Bruce Willis now. I mean, come on.
That's sad. You're just being sad.
So it's not fair, really, because
No.
any Bruce Willis movie before, the past, 3 or 4 years was better than anything in the past 3 or 4 years. So, but leading into that, my film was Hudson Hawk, and it was directed by Michael Lehmann, and it was released in 1991. Lehmann also directed Heathers and Airheads, 2 movies that I actually enjoy, as well as Hudson Hawk. And it's about this movie's about an eccentric thief who, upon his release from prison, is kind of conscripted by his parole agent into stealing a priceless statue of a horse from a museum. Film stars Bruce Willis as Hudson Hawk, Danny Aiello as his partner Tommy Fivetone, and Andie MacDowell as this sort of mysterious woman who gets involved with thieves. Various groups also get involved in forcing Hudson Hawk back into being he was a cat burglar, including the CIA, which includes James Coburn.
That guy's so cool.
Yeah.
Right. James Coburn and the candy bars. The Mario Brothers, with Frank Stallone as one of the Mario Brothers, where they're a couple of gangsters. The Wealthy Mayflowers. They're played by Sandra Bernhard. I don't know if you guys remember her from the 80s.
Yeah.
And Richard E. Grant. Richard E. Grant's been around for a while.
He did great in this.
Yeah, he did. He killed it. Yeah. So Sandra Bernhard did great too.
She did.
And the Vatican was the last sort of organization that was involved. They weren't really forcing Bruce Willis. They were kind of playing two sides. Anyway, Hawk he's forced to steal a few items of great value from different places, only to learn that the priceless items, all of which are Da Vinci artifacts, are reliquaries for pieces of a prism made from a crystal, which is used in a machine, the Macchina d'Oro, made by Leonardo da Vinci, that turns lead into gold. So the movie's kind of about alchemy. It's an action comedy, and it plays to the sort of eccentricities such as Hawk and Fivetone. They don't use watches, but they instead sing songs in time with each other to synchronize their burglaries.
Swing on a star.
Swing on a star, right? Yeah, it's so stupid. It's great. Yeah. And Hawk's girlfriend, she turns out to be a nun, and both the Vatican and the CIA have double agents. The CIA squad, it's codenamed after candy bars with Lorraine Toussaint. I don't know if you guys have seen her around. She's been around a few things. David Caruso, everybody knows. Caruso. Don Harvey, he's been around.
Always plays a bad guy.
He does. He really does. And Andrew Brianarski, I think his name was. They played Almond Joy, Kit Kat, Snickers, and Butterfinger.
Hey, Benarski played Leatherface.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. He played Butterfinger in this movie, but he was Leatherface in both the remakes of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And one of my favorite TV shows was Firefly. He played Kroll, a small character, in an episode of Firefly, and he played Latimer in the movie The Program. But my two favorite characters in this movie are Alfred, who's like the psychotic butler of the Mayflowers, and Kaplan, who is Kaplan's the leader of the candy bars, is George Coburn. James Coburn. James Coburn. Yeah. The movie was a huge flop. It made $17 million domestically with a budget of I think it was $22 million or something like that, and it was voted worst picture of the year, and it received 2 thumbs down from Siskel and Ebert, when they were around. But overseas it killed with $80 million made for a total for almost $100 million total. I like the movie. What do you guys think?
It's a fun movie. It really is. I don't think it ages as well as it should, but it's a fun movie. When they're singing, Wish Upon a Star, and they're going through the museum, Danny Aiello's just sitting up. You could see his head in the window.
Thank you, Morgana.
The guards could see his head in the window, and Bruce Willis is hunching down. I was like, he's not even trying. But he had a lot of fun.
The whole movie is it's attempting to be a stupid movie, not as dumb as like Airplane or something like that, but a little bit more on the serious side, but still aiming towards that Airplane type of thing. And they missed in a lot of places, but I thought they hit in a lot of places too. And honestly, the Mayflowers nailed it. They nailed the evil empire type of bad guy, like the James Bond villain.
Danny Aiello and Bruce Willis throughout the movie, all I could think of was a Bob Hope and Bing Crosby movie.
That's what they were.
You're not wrong.
Just the whole the back and forth, and
that's what they were aiming at. Actually, they were trying to get a road movie going. In fact, I think Bruce Willis came up with the concept. Him and a buddy has came up with the concept of kind of this movie, I believe. But Richard E. Grant, who plays one of the Mayflowers, someone asked him about it years ago, and he says a steaming pile of crap. But it's a fun movie,
I liked it. I always liked it. It was two of my the movies that I like were named worst movie of the year. The other one was Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love that movie. I saw that movie as a kid. Oh, it's so terrible, but I loved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love those books, and then you see that on the screen, and you're like, "Oh my
Robert
god,
Howard,
awesome!" Well, and this movie has James Coburn in it, who was the coolest guy in the 70s and 60s. He played that secret agent. He's got that voice, or when he played a cowboy. James Coburn was always awesome. We don't have actors like that anymore. That caliber of coolness.
What'd you think, Scott?
I liked it. The plot sucked.
Yeah.
The plot was horrible, but what really got my interest was the characters. Every one of them. The Italian guys with the really stupid Italian one that gets hit by Danny Aiello.
Yeah.
Sarah Bernhardt and her brother or boyfriend. I couldn't figure out who they were. The whole, James Coburn, talking about all the things he's done as a CIA agent, his crew, Snickers, Butterfingers. They made the movie. I loved watching them. All of them did great performances.
Yeah.
For what it was. I mean, yes, I don't think it would never have won an Academy Award, but I didn't think I was going to enjoy this one. I didn't watch it when it came out. I'm thinking, Bruce Willis in this movie, but nope, I love that movie.
It's a fun movie. It is a fun movie.
I enjoy it too,
and it's a big movie.
Yeah.
I think Hadley's gonna have a few bad words. What do you say, Hadley?
I felt like I was dumber for watching it.
You absolutely were. We all were.
I will say it started off. I really liked the premise of where it was going in the beginning, and then it just took a detour, and I was like, "Let me off." I really liked the repertoire between Willis and Danny Aiello. Which I just have to say, this is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about the Bruce Willis movies. Is Bruce Willis in this movie is Bruce Willis, and we don't have Bruce Willis anymore. And I'm going to say this, and this sounds cheesy, but there are few people whose eyes sparkle like Bruce Willis with that mischievous little look that he could get back in his heyday.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, in this movie, he had the sparkling eyes.
Yeah, he had hair too.
Yeah, he had hair, and he just had the charisma that made him the success in Moonlighting, and it made him, which my favorite Bruce Willis movie, not the Christmas movie, is Blind Date.
Oh, that's funny. That's pretty funny.
It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I love it. And this brought back that Bruce Willis, and it was a joy to see him. And I loved the singing. I was sitting there, actually thought, I wonder if they have like this on the soundtrack, because I would love to get this. A little it was just cute. And then they had to go to Italy and the Vatican, and it just lost it. It lost the sparkle, that the hope that I had for the show, just kind of lost it. To me, it didn't even capture, and I love Airplane. It did not get, it was not able to reach that kind of level of cheesy fun.
Yeah, it was a
It
different
just
type of movie.
missed. And as beautiful as Andie MacDowell is, she is not funny.
No.
So miscast. That that was back when she was the cover girl and all that. But like I said, it just went. It took a detour, and I actually didn't even watch the end. Rich, I'm sorry.
Well,
I tried, but I watched in the beginning, and I will say that watching some of the it's the cadence of the speaking and the kind of it's kind of like a jazz kind of, snap your fingers. I could see your writing in that kind of cadence that I guess of the speed of the characters talking, and I thought that was fun because it made me kind of connect deeper with what you do. And like I said, it was fun, and I could see why you liked it, but like I said, it did not hold up. It had potential, but it didn't hold up.
I got to tell you, that's the best bad review I've ever heard. That was really good. Honestly. Seriously.
I mean, I never looked at it as like an airplane, but I looked at it as Jerry Lewis and Martin and Lewis, Hope and Crosby. It was a buddy movie, and that's I think why it succeeded. They had they had idiots going after them, but Danny Aiello and Bruce Willis, they were good together. They were smart. They outwitted everyone.
Well, and I've never seen Danny Aiello like that, and I really liked him like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
funny.
He was, and I mean, he's another one of those people who I've seen him in 100 things, but he's just never really had that kind of charisma. And he had it, and that's like you could see him being that guy, like put on a few pounds and couldn't do the tightrope like he could have, before Bruce Willis went into the prison. But it was, I don't know, like I said, it was a fun. I enjoyed the first 10-15 minutes of it.
Hey, Frank Stallone actually did a good job in this one too, and I've seen him in some crap, but he actually did a good job in this one. I was surprised. I forgot he was in it.
Was he the head of the other mafia group, or was he the dumb one in the mafia?
The Mario Brothers, beginning.
He was half of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the ambulance and all that. I like when the guy get the needles in
that was funny. And when he was on the gurney, that was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
Hey, are you gonna die? It's a fun movie. It's a big movie. It was right after a movie or two after Die Hard, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what. Unfortunately, I think that's what people were expecting was another action movie like Die Hard, and that just wasn't it.
No.
Yeah, it was more moonlighting,
kind of
Die Hard, kind of that character, So, and it when you watch it, it makes you remember, like Hadley said, how Bruce Willis was. Right. He's a guy. If he's up to something, you can see it in his eyes. That something's going to happen.
Mischievous is the word.
Yes,
he's got
be
the
a writer.
mischievous look.
Yeah, exactly. So, what are we going to give this movie, Hadley?
I'm gonna have to go with a 2.5. Did not really enjoy it, but I didn't even make it through the end because it was that bad, guys. But it was worth it to see the opening scenes and all with Bruce Willis. I did enjoy, and it did make me realize how much I like him.
Oh, Morgana's a Hudson Hawk fan.
She's just sucking up to Rich Restucci.
Anytime.
That is.
I thought my wife was a Hudson Hawk fan for a long time. I kept saying, "Yeah, I remember that," because I remember us watching it a couple times when we were younger. And she said, "No, I just kind of like the movie." So, Scott, what would you give it?
I'd give it a solid 3, and just because it was fun and it was watching all of the other actors and actresses overact. purposely.
Yes.
So you give it a solid 3. Sounds like my prom date. How about you, Rich? What would you?
Oh, I gotta give this movie a 4, and it's it's not just for the movie. It's that I went to see. I had a friend named Pat, and I went to see this movie with him at the movie theater, and we had no idea what it was, and we just guffawed through the movie. And I mean, we may have had a couple of drinks prior to the movie, but it just brought bad memories for me.
Oh, it's nostalgia.
Give it a 4.
It's nostalgia. I'll give it a 4 too, just for nostalgia. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, but I did enjoy the watch when I watched it. So thank you, Rich, for bringing that back. I appreciate that. Okay, Hadley, you're next.
Rain of Fire, or as I call it, the hot movie. This movie was great. It's the apocalypse that we could have had. You know,
The apocalypse you hoped
we could have had dragons, but no, we've got face masks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. What did it come out? 2005 or 2002? Which was it?
I thought it was 2000.
Oh, let me see.
Well, didn't it take place in 2020?
2002 was the release date.
Okay.
So yeah, this stars Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey, Gerard Butler. Need I say more, ladies? No. And I will, because I had to call a friend of mine and say, well, I'm watching Rain of Fire, and I forgot. Dang, I forgot how good Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale looked back in the day.
Has she been lauding the movie or the actors?
Right?
Oh, well, but yeah, I love this movie. Dragons, London, they awaken the sleeping dragon, and of course he Rain of Fire. I'm sure you can imagine. Well, not only does he get out, but apparently he like spawns all these other dragons, and then they're just dragons everywhere. And 20 years later, Gerard Butler said, "Oh, Ash, I'm so sorry." But yes, it was a good movie. It's a good apocalypse movie. I told y'all, like, I could watch an apocalypse movie every week right now. That's where I'm at. I'm very going into getting ready to write my apocalypse for my books, and I'm just immersed in that mindset. And I really enjoyed it. This is one of my favorites. I love dragons. I think we've already discussed this. And this, you haven't seen it done. It's not overdone. It's a legitimate... Not as sorry as I am.
My sister is a huge Gerard Butler fan. If he did a 5-hour movie reading the phone book, she'd videotape it.
Hell, I might.
I have to say, this is one of the first things I saw Gerard Butler in, and he is total out of the 3. He's the first one to die. So.
It was before he got big.
Yeah. It was before Attila and before what was his other one?
Oh, Dracula. Was he in that Dracula movie?
No, was he?
Yeah, he was
he played Dracula.
2000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In New Orleans. Yeah.
But that wasn't like a big movie. What was his breakout role?
Wasn't he Gladiator?
No.
That was Russell Crowe.
Oh, sorry. Right.
What was his breakout role? Oh, I think what was it? What was his breakout role?
300.
300.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Spartan kick. Yeah. Anyway, so it was Rain of Fire. What can I say? Dragons, hot men, the apocalypse. Just doesn't get much better. People were starving, of course. That was the downfall. But it's a fun movie. Like I said, if you like the apocalypse and you like dragons, it's it is what it is.
It's a fun movie. It's different too.
Shelley.
Well, that's what I mean. I like my apocalypse a little bit different, and this one was good. It had a legitimately good storyline, which was that there was a dragon that was basically sleeping underneath London, and when they went and dug too far down, they woke him up. And Christian Bale was the child that was responsible, I guess, for that not really happening, but he was just there and witnessed it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, of course, he was the one to end it at the end of the day too. So,
Yeah.
there you go. But I love the use of the helicopter and the angels, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the battery.
Yeah, I think a certain writer might have got his idea for some divers off that. I'm not really sure, but to me, that's a pretty cool scene, though. But they probably had a lot more of those diver guys before they got to England, because it looked pretty costly to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love to see when they show up and Gerard Butler looks at the other guy and goes, "I hate Americans."
Yeah.
Well, and I have to say that like Matthew McConaughey is like channeling Woody Harrelson in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. He spit an image, except
I know.
he's all muscle, but
And hot. Woody Harrelson.
Wait, Woody's not hot?
No, Woody's kind of got a little, my friend Christy would say that he's got the right amount of ugly. So she'd say Woody Harrelson.
He's got some craziness too.
Yeah.
In it. And they were both in True Detective together. So bam.
That was a great series.
They were the same person.
But yeah. But no, this was, like I said, it was great. And I would love to see more. I would love this to have been a series. I would love to have seen more movies like this about what was America like during this.
Right.
It just, when we talk about movies that get made and movies that we don't see sequels for, this is one that I really think they could have done something more with it. I think it would have been a big turnout. I would have gone. I would have seen it at the theater. I mean, I was there day one. Like I said, Dragons, Apocalypse.
Yeah, but 2/3 of the actors you would have gone to see didn't make it through Rain of Fire. So.
Doesn't matter. And I didn't even mind. I mean,
This is a great concept. I mean, it was actually an original movie. And you don't see those too often. The tanks driving up to the castle, the skydivers fighting the dragon. I mean, it's a very original movie, I thought.
Yeah, it was definitely the first of its kind.
Yes.
And nothing's touched it since. I mean, the only really cool dragons, I mean, other than Falcor, since then has been in Game of Thrones. Nobody's really been able to.
What about How to Fly My Dragon, or How to Train Your Dragon?
That was animated.
Animated.
So we're not counting that.
No, you can draw a dragon.
Gerard Butler was in that too.
And they were all friendly. Yeah, good point. Yes, he was.
Not all of them.
Stoic the Viking, Stoic the Vast. I thought this was a good film. I really enjoyed this film. I also went to see it at the movies when it came out because I like dragons too, and I like the apocalypse, so I had to go. Me too, asshole.
Oh yeah, I used to be too.
But it was like Alan Scott said, it was novel. It was something very new. And nobody's really touched on it since then. And like Hadley said, they really could have crushed sequels for this thing, or prequels even, and they just didn't.
They still could.
It's a shame.
I mean, hello Hollywood.
Absolutely, right? All we need to do is push this Watching Wyrd on some Hollywood stooges, and they'll make some movies for us.
We need to get more Twitter. We need to get some Twitter going with our hashtags of these producers.
Yes.
Well, I will call my buddy Elon, and we'll see what we can do.
Well, I did read somewhere, and this could have been clickbait or something, but McConaughey was rumoring maybe a sequel.
Well, that would have been awesome.
That's just something that's out there in the.
Well, he won't be in it unless it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Let's just say this, though.
Bowel movement.
I mean, okay, and I am going to go there because Game of Thrones. The dragons that we could see now would be phenomenal. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Well,
the Game of Thrones dragons were phenomenal.
They were
excellent. Special effects for that movie were awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have cheap-assed that whole thing. The special effects, the fire scenes, the scene when the male attacks the castle, those were top-notch special effects.
Yes.
And it was unique. I didn't like it originally because it was dragons. But I saw it when it first came out, and then I'm rewatching. And I was like, well, okay, it's an apocalypse movie with dragons. This is really unique.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, I love the fact that the Brits are rebuilding their society and they're thinking about themselves and they're trying to raise the kids properly. I love the Star Wars reference when they were doing this.
Yeah.
And then here comes in the Americans, loud, pompous, arrogant, but
and strong.
World War II.
Yeah. Now McConaughey on that set had people address him as Van Zandt. They didn't call him McConaughey, Matt. He was addressed as Van Zandt.
Oh.
I bet he was. Matthew McConaughey is so Texas sometimes looks like a shadow in comparison.
Have you seen him in The Gentleman? Have you seen that movie? Guy Ritchie?
I think I have that movie. I love him.
That's
he's a great actor. He's phenomenal.
My all-time favorite movie of his is A Time to Kill.
That's a good movie.
That is one of the 3 courtroom scenes I love the most.
Honestly, you're right. That is a great flick.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Well, y'all know that was filmed right here where Morgana and I are from.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah. They're making a Lincoln lawyer series on Netflix. I think it comes out tomorrow.
A Lincoln lawyer?
The Lincoln lawyer, John Grisham. It's part of that series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, the Lincoln lawyer. So, if
Which
you're a John
one,
Grisham
Tony?
fan,
Which movie, Tony, is your favorite? Their third favorite of all time?
I think he said Pete's Dragon.
Pete's Dragon. Oh.
I love Pete's Dragon.
See, they should have put the dragon from Pete's Dragon into Rain of Fire. Wouldn't that be cool? That little animated green guy.
Elliot. And we could sing.
Full circle to Falcor.
Yeah, Falcor was really
Nightbreed.
good.
Nightbreed was his third favorite.
Right.
Yeah, we should do that sometime.
Well,
That's a weird movie.
Anyway,
It is.
Rain of Fire, fun movie. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it. Even though Scott doesn't like dragons.
I like
We
them
won't
in
hold
this
against
one.
him.
I like this in this one.
Show us where the dragon hurt you, Scott. Show us the burn. So what would you give Hadley? What would you give this one?
I'd give it a
Surprise.
4 just because I enjoy it so much.
Wow.
Sam
How about
Jackson didn't say MF.
I'll give it a 4.5.
Wow.
It was good. It was fun. It was tense. The acting was good. The special effects were great. So
I can't give anything a 5 this week after watching all those movies last week and then Rich Strike and his famous win. I'm still
movie that distracts me from what I'm doing, so I watch the movie, gets into the 4 category.
Nice. Rich?
Fair enough. So I'm with Scott. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I really enjoyed this movie. I've seen this movie probably 10 times. That's how much I like this movie. Again, this was another movie I saw at the movie theater when it came out, and dragons. I'm a big dragon guy, and this was so unique, and it couldn't be touched by any other movie. That I honestly, I'm giving it a 4.5.
Wow.
Alan?
I'll give it a hard 4. It's a very entertaining movie and original.
So there you have it, guys. All of us like Rain of Fire pretty much 4 and up.
Great. All right, Rich, your turn.
Oh, he
No,
already
Rich
went.
already did his.
I'm sorry, Scott.
I'm
See, I was
drinking,
looking at-
Alan.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
drinking.
feel it. I don't.
I was
feel
looking at you
slighted and ignored.
All right, Scott, you got to do the vampire talk when you're doing it, though.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Okay. Do you want me to do Bela Lugosi?
Killing it.
Yeah,
My
let's know.
movie-
Let's know when.
My movie is What We Do in the Shadows. I love this movie for 2 reasons. One, it's a great movie, but this is one of those success stories. It was an independent New Zealand production. It was written and directed, and it was written and directed by 2 of the actors in the movie. Cost them $1.6 million. And this movie, it had some critical acclaim, but no one ever heard about it when it first came out. And then just through word of mouth, people started, oh my God. My wife watched it on a whim and made me watch it. I watched it. I loved it. And it's become so popular that not only have they done a series spin-off in New Zealand, but What We Do in the Shadows is now a TV show, I think, on AMC. The movie itself is brilliant. It's a mockumentary horror comedy. It's about a film crew that goes into the vampire community in Wellington, New Zealand, and they film these 4 vampires that are living in the house together. Let me make sure I get their names right. There's Viago, who is his real name is Viago von Dorner Schmatten Schaden Heimberg, and they von Blitzenberg. Lovely guy, bit of a dork, goes to a masquerade party once dressed as a nun, didn't go over well. And the actor who played him, Taika Waititi, was one of the writers and one of the directors. Jemaine Clement, the other writer, played Vladislav the Polka, former tyrant. He's like a ripoff of Vlad the Impaler. He gets angry. He's kind of gruff. He's good natured. The other vampire is Deacon Brooke, he thinks he's the coolest vampire around. He wears clothes that Johnny Depp wouldn't wear in any of his movies. And then the other vampire is Peter, who looks exactly like Nosferatu. And the film crew follows these guys through Wellington. There's scenes with the other vampire communities. There's like scenes when they want to go clubbing, but they have to ask permission of the bouncers to get into the club because vampires have to be invited in. There's like this really funny, there's this great rivalry between the Wellington werewolf gang that they hate each other. It's a fun movie. The acting, I thought, was brilliant. They did a great job on this movie. It was well made. It was well directed, well written. It's such a satire on vampires. What we think about them is, Peter is Christopher Lee and, Bela Lugosi. No, these guys are as messed up as like a Friends episode. And it was really fun. And it's got a very nice, sweet ending to it. But I love this movie. I think it's brilliant. Like I said, they made it for $1.6 million. I think they made, let's see, the film earned after its release $6.9 million. And then, like I said, I mean, the fact that AMC picks it up and does a TV show on it is fantastic. I mean, I give these guys, I wish I had that success. So what did you guys think of it?
We watched the series. We started the first season of the series before we watched the movie, and it kind of ruined the movie for us.
Oh,
it was funny. It was funny, and I love Jemaine Clement. Yeah, he's part of the Concords, Flight of the Concords. If you've ever seen that series, he's funny as hell. Oh my gosh! And he plays the turtle in that animated Disney Hawaiian movie. He does a lot of animated voices. Mm-hmm. And I love Jemaine Clement, so he's hilarious. Taika Waititi, he directed Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
Jojo Rabbit.
I recognized him.
He played Hitler in Jojo Rabbit too. He's been in a lot of things.
Really? I haven't seen that yet. Yeah. I gotta check that out.
You should watch that.
He's in Free Guy.
Free Guy, yep.
Yeah.
He's the computer designer.
Yeah.
He's the voice of Korg in all the Avengers movies.
Yeah. He sounds like.
I love this movie.
The series develops characters, more. Mm-hmm. So it kind of ruined it for me. I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was funny.
I think the series has more time to develop the characters.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
Definitely.
Well, I was familiar with it. I've had a lot of people recommend that I watch it, but I just never really sat down and did it. And I'm glad I didn't because I really enjoyed it. Just for this, especially, it was a lot of fun. And I didn't have any preconceived notions, so I think that made me enjoy it more. But it also made me appreciate Scott more for it too, because I kind of see Scott's sense of humor tied up in it.
Oh yeah.
Like when they're when they're flying and fighting each other, I just got tickled every time because it looks so ridiculous.
My favorite line was, "Leave me to do my evil bidding on the internet." What are you bidding on? A table.
It was campy. It was fun. I loved it. It was a much needed highlight of my week.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
good.
good. What do you think, Rich?
I think I'm gonna be that guy. So everybody told me that I needed to watch this movie a couple of years ago, and so I watched the movie a couple of years ago, and I absolutely hated it. I didn't finish it. I got like 2/3 way through, and I was like, yeah, there's a couple funny scenes, but it's just that sort of deadpan drop mic humor that I wasn't in the mood for at the time. So I watched it again today. When I got home from work, I watched it today, and I was like, you know what? It is better. It's a little better, but it's still it just didn't drag me in. And I am in the minority here because I've talked to other people that said, "Oh, this is a great movie. This is a fantastic movie. This is wonderful." Like the three of you guys really like this movie, and I don't want you to think that I hated it because I didn't. It wasn't. I didn't think it was a poorly made. I thought it was very well made. And the acting in it was just atrociously terrible, but it was atrociously terrible on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to factor that in when you're thinking about it. So I did. And Taika Waititi, I can't pronounce.
Yeah,
his
I
name.
always butcher his name.
Yeah, me too. He's great in. He's great. But what I really wanted to see was more of that Piotr guy. He was fun. And he just, well, I won't say what happened, but the best part of this movie was Stu.
I was gonna say, did you watch the stew thing at the end?
No, I didn't. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna go up as soon as this is over. I'm going up there. I'm gonna watch it. But Stu is this. He's a human that he gets hooked up with this other vampire. Nick gets turned during the show, and Stu is Nick's best friend. And Nick just brings Stu in, and he's supposed to be like this victim. That's what the other vampires are thinking. They go, "Oh, we're gonna eat him," but they end up falling in love with the guy because he's such a nerd and he's just so cool. And it goes into more things with Stu. But I just thought that the guy that played Stu, he hardly said anything, and he was the best part of the movie. He really was. I really enjoyed him.
You know what this movie needed? It needed Jackie Daytona. Human bartender. That's who it needed in this series. I mean, in the movie. Yeah. That's what they needed. Jackie Daytona. Human bartender.
I did that to my wife for a week, Eric. So I just walked around with a toothpick and would put it in my mouth. And she'd look at me and go, "Yeah." See, I love the series because they brought in a husband-wife vampire team.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it, because my wife and I look at each other when we're watching, and she's like, "Yeah," I'm like, "That's you," and she's like, "Yeah, that's you."
Yeah. That the scene we're talking about is the vampire. What's his name?
Scott. Which one do you mean?
The Jackie Daytona guy. The guy that plays Jackie Daytona.
Oh,
Laszlo. He's confronted by Mark Hamill, who's another vampire, in a bar, and it's got this century-old grudge against him. And he says, no, and he puts a toothpick in his mouth. "Hey, I'm Jackie Daytona, a human bartender." And Mark Hamill's like, didn't recognize him with a toothpick in his mouth. And it's just freaking the funniest thing when you see it. I mean, I'm sure I butchered it, killed it, but it's funny when you watch it. I love the series.
What I also love about the series is the vampire actors and actresses who beg to get into the show. I mean, they brought in Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
Of all people.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to watch the series now.
Yeah, the series is actually really funny.
Series is funny. And I like Guillermo much better than I liked the other familiar in this one. He's so sweet, so lovable, so abused.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Well, Stu was this scene stealer, and
well, like
I'm not going to ruin it for Rich, but you've got to tell me what you think about how it is.
I will. As soon as this is done, I'm going to go up there and watch it.
Well, like Rich said, the acting, they did a great job of acting badly, which is, I think, one of the things that made the movie. It made them look so realistic. So
Right.
So Hadley,
I don't know
ladies
that
first.
realistic's the word.
No, but I mean,
We just talked about dragons.
no, but I mean, it wasn't like Hollywood dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it really watches like a documentary, like they're
It
filming
does.
a real life television program live.
And it's got that New Zealander sense of humor. Because if you watch any of their other shows and stuff like that, they have a certain sense of humor.
Well, I was going to ask, were the werewolves supposed to be Australian?
Probably. I can't
Oh.
remember. Probably.
I thought they were. I just thought they were New Zealanders.
I
was
did not
just the
know.
fact that vampires versus werewolves.
So the lead werewolf, the guy with the reddish hair, he looked familiar, and I'm racking my brain, and the only thing I don't even know if it's the same guy, but did you guys see the movie Jumanji?
Yes.
The new one with The Rock?
Yes.
I think he's the guy that drives the truck. Welcome to Jumanji.
Oh, yes.
I think it's him. I haven't
Yes.
looked it up yet. But,
He's
like I
hilarious.
said, that's my superhero power, and I think it's the same dude.
He's the manager in Fly the Conchords. I can't think of his name.
I don't
But
know his name either.
He's hilarious. He's in a lot of things.
He is funny. Yeah.
he's
I'm
hilarious.
looking him up now. His name is Reese Darby.
Yes, Reese Darby. Yes.
And I'm looking to see if he's in Jumanji, but I can't see.
He is. He's
He
in the
is.
second one.
Okay.
He's the Avatar
Reese
driver.
Darby.
Reese Darby. RHYS.
He
Well, it was a good week for movies.
It
It
was.
wasn't.
Yep, he is.
There were no hobos with a shotgun.
no.
It's been a while
Or
since we've
no
had
snatch.
a real bad one.
Yeah, but even hobos with a shotgun had Rutger Hauer. That's that made the movie.
That was literally it. There was
That was
literally
it.
nothing else about that.
That's
movie
like-
that was good. It
that's
was
like
even a
Rutger
shitty
Hauer.
shotgun.
That and that white coat.
That was an awful movie. Who picked that movie?
Alan Gamboa.
Some guy. I don't know.
So Hadley, what would you give What We Do in the Shadows?
4.5.
4.5. Alan
I'd give it a 4.
and Rich.
Oh man, I gotta give it a 3. It wasn't my favorite, and there's people on the internet that they're gonna come for my head for this. But
It's
because
because
I
you
know
haven't
this is-
finished it, because the Stu storyline was worth it.
that's gonna
That's where I get my
bump it up to a 4.
4.5. Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4.8, and I'm almost would have given it a 4. Complete 5, but I say that only for the best movies.
For the best movie.
Well, it was a good week for movies for sure. I enjoyed them. Well, not Rich's, but I enjoyed Bruce Willis.
It won worst movie of the year. So
It did.
And I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse.
Oh
Hobo
yeah,
with a shotgun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wasn't
So,
it Razzies or
what's
something? it was?
next
That's a
week,
Razzie.
Alan?
Yeah.
I'm
What's
sorry.
our theme for next week?
Oh my gosh, let's go. You want to go zombie movies, apocalyptic zombie movies? You guys want to do that?
Sure.
You want to do that? We
Okay.
haven't done that in a bit.
I gotta pick one I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Oh.
me too.
Oh,
There's
we
some-
could do something.
Oh.
We could do apocalyptic movies. Or
Oh no,
Well-
no! Let's do the zombies because I want to do a movie called The Sadness. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
then we can watch
I
that.
heard it's
Oh,
brutal. I don't
yes.
know. Maybe it's not out. Let me look.
Oh,
It's going to be on Shudder sometime. It'll be on Shudder, so
yeah.
I don't know when.
Yeah, that's getting rave reviews from people who have seen it before it was released.
It's brutal, and it's supposed to be like that graphic novel. Was it Crosses or something like that?
Oh, okay.
Where the
Cross,
violence. Yeah,
All right.
Cross.
I'll pick
Oh, I
it up.
have every one of those comics
Okay.
upstairs.
It reminds me of that. I read the synopsis of the, and it's like, oh my gosh, this
Yeah.
is brutal.
Shudder.
All right.
Oof. We're gonna have to have palate cleansers on that one.
I'll think of a nice zombie movie. It's not like I haven't seen almost every one.
You know what?
Exactly.
I got one too. Dance of the Dead.
Seen it.
The one, the high school one. The high
Yep.
school one.
Oh yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was
Let
a
me
palate
think.
cleanser.
I got so many good ones.
I'm gonna fold back to. I'm gonna try and find an apocalypse if I can find a good zombie one that I don't think y'all have seen, but y'all have seen all of them. So it's kind of hard.
I haven't. So
Okay, well, so you and I are the ones who haven't seen them all.
Yeah.
So,
Tony says the sadness is awesome. So
Good.
Tony would know.
Yeah, Tony would.
Excuse me.
So
All right. So next week we're back with what we know, and that is going to be zombies in the apocalypse.
nice.
That'll be fun to promote too.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Zombies.
Got a couple of zombie writers. 3 zombie writers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hadley, you got to write a zombie book now.
You
Yeah,
do.
you do.
Zombie dragons.
Oh.
No, it's been done. It's been done.
Yeah.
Game
Now,
of Thrones.
I have an idea that I might play around with one day.
Good.
Y'all will
Nice.
see.
Nice.
Until next time, what you got going on? Anybody got any new releases? Scott, I know he's churning them out.
No new releases. I'm going back and promoting all the books. I finished my story for the Horror Writers Inc. anthology. I just got to edit it. And I'm working on I'm writing the 3rd Tatiana book, and I'm starting to plot out the 2nd Chronicles of Paul.
Oh.
And that one's going to have a very heavy Dead Rising theme to it. So
Cool.
Ooh.
Cool.
Rich, what you got going on?
I haven't been able to write in weeks. I'm so busy at work. I can't get to it. And
Ooh,
that's
it's
where
on
I am.
Twitter.
That's where I am right now. I had 2 releases in April, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alan?
I'm waiting on Hunt the Night to be released, and I'm working on Operation Zulu 4, and so
Nice.
done. I've had to do some rewrite on that one. I wasn't happy with where it was going. So
any goats in that one?
the presidents are in it, so you
Tigers.
never know. Tigers. We'll see. How about you, Hadley?
I am developing a plot for my 3rd book.
Good.
So I'm ready to start hitting it with that. So I went through my notes all last weekend, and now I'm hopefully going to get started with a chapter or 2 this weekend. So
Nice.
I just
Yay.
got both your paperbacks in the mail yesterday.
Nice. Nice.
that just intimidates me so much when y'all are going to read the books. It's like, just don't even tell me, because y'all are like my heroes, and it kind of
Thank you.
It's kind of
You are- but
intimidating.
You are one of the next ones, Hadley,
Yeah.
on my 3
Well,
list.
that's again not making me feel good, Scott.
It's-
Just don't tell me if you're going to read them.
They're very good.
Yeah.
They're
Oh, you're
good.
They're
sweet,
not-
Alan.
Good.
well, and it's not a genre that I haven't read that genre in years, and I really enjoyed it. So
Good.
Well, thank you.
I kind of can't wait. I got to finish up Joe Hanson's Zombie Rush trilogy, and then you're next.
Uh-oh. Again, I'm kind of feeling like I'm in the hot seat, but I appreciate y'all reading them. So, yay. But, all right. Well, we are going to be back the same time next week. As y'all know, we are now doing a Weird Murder Mysteries and Mayhem, where we talk about everything from true crime to weird history on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you ever want to join us, just let me know. Me and the girls and Scott will look forward to you. It is a revolving door of whoever wants to hop on. So just let me know. And then tomorrow night, Weird Awakenings is discussing MK Ultra. So if you want to hang out with us then, hop on and let me know.
is Scott
Other
over
than
there?
that,
What time? What time tomorrow night?
7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
MK Ultra.
Yeah, come on, Scott, join us.
Scott's got to break into his files.
No, I'm gonna have to sit there and make sure Hadley doesn't. I'll have to sit there with the mute button.
So, Alan, what's going on with lowballing?
Lowballing right now. We're Joe's been shopping around for guests. So he's looking. We had some slated, and they backed out for one reason or another, or scheduling problems. But we're looking. We're trying to get people on the show. We want to do another show with the 3 of you, with all 4 of us. That was fun, and we want to do a part 2 of that. So that was fun. So that'll be in the near future, the 4 of us together. So if you like us rambling on, folks, tune into that one when we do it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was a good time. So we're just shopping around for people.
Well, we'll have to put the word out. If you're a writer and you're wanting to be on Lowballing with Joe and Alan,
Yeah,
hit 'em up.
we're interviewing, so if you want to get your word out there.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week, guys, and we will see you same time next week with zombies and apocalypse stuff going all over. Until then, stay weird.
Good night. Thank you.